PMP Study Group question of the day. Welcome, and if you're new in this channel, my name is Gabo Strand, and I'll help people to pass the CAPM and a PMP exam in 8 weeks. So with this new series, let's deep dive into some very challenging questions and how to solve them in the most effective way. Today is October the 7th, so yeah, let's crack on. So here we are, here is our first question. I'm going to read this out loud and then we're going to solve it together, even though you see the answer on the screen already. So, where is my drawing board? Perfecto. So you have used estimates made by your team members and applied the critical path method to compute a network logic diagram for your project. Then you find out that it cannot be sufficiently optimized for a scarce resource and fast progress towards the given deadline. What should you do next? Now, with any PMP question, the first thing you need to ask yourself, as you can see it on the right-hand side, is it a waterfall or is it an agile question? Now, the way we're going to determine this, we're looking for certain keywords. And that's what is definitely going to stick out from this question is the critical path method, and then some network logic diagram. And that's good enough that we're going to say that this is going to be a waterfall question. Now, if you know this is a waterfall question, the next thing you're going to ask yourself is at which stage we are in the big building blocks of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. Now, if you think about it, if you're looking into the details, so we are more or less going to be somewhere between execution and monitoring, controlling. And why I'm saying is that because if you look into this, so you use the estimates, and then you find out that it cannot be sufficiently optimized. So what does this mean? So you talk about, let's say in the past, we had most likely a plan, and now then you find out, that it cannot be sufficiently optimized for scarce resource and fast progress towards the deadline. So what does this mean? That we eventually understood that we're going to have the right resources at the right time, but at the end of the day, we have this scarce resource idea. Now, the scarce resource means that we have an expert who's simply just not available at the time when we need them, and the only point you're going to be able to figure this out when you are just finished the planning, now you are in execution. So comparing with the plan, so this person is not available, so technically that person is on demand as used by many other projects. So that is simply helping you to looking into the possible answers. And then you go like, so now the reason why this is so important, because first we have to have an understanding of where we are, and this will helping us to find the correct answer. So we are in waterfall, execution/monitoring, controlling. Apply resource leveling and smoothing heuristically on uncritical activities. Now, the big problem with this one is about uncritical activities. Now, I have a very specific resource who I need on a critical path, meaning any change on the uncritical path will definitely not help. Reduce estimates on duration. Now, this is where you stop. Okay, so we are after planning, which means technically speaking, if you have any problem, any challenge, overall you never change. You're never gonna reducing estimates because the project is in trouble. So you never do that. All reduction should have been done as part of planning, not part of execution or anything after that. Now, which means we're already down in the best possible too. But let's have a look. So search for opportunities to compress the schedule without jeopardizing the schedule or the project. That sounds absolutely okay. And remove physical and legal constraints. Again, this should have been done as part of planning. See what I mean? Because in planning, you always have the perfect plan, which means, doing any activities afterwards of removing, these constraints whatsoever, that shouldn't be the case. Now, so the correct answer will be C. Now, the other key learning from this question is going to be the following, that, what is really the question, which is, what should you do next? Which is nothing super specific, nothing major, it's just what should you do next, which is a very general question. And if you look into the answer, this answer is also very general, which is you're looking for opportunities to compress the schedule without jeopardizing the project, which is a very general answer. But think about it, you have a very general question, aka you need a very general answer as well. Okay? Good. So I think we solved that very quickly. I'm gonna put more videos in to solving challenging questions. So see you in the next video. Also, if you'd like to learn more how to establish a skill of solving questions 9 out of 10 times correctly, go and visit my website, which is gabostram.com. I'm gonna put the link into the description. So we'll see you there. Bye-bye.